So you probably heard about it. There was a that took place. Pardon me, I am not familiar with what terms I am allowed to utilize here on YouTube without a potential censor. I do a lot of my stuff on TikTok, and there are certain words you're not supposed to use, so pardon me, I'm still getting familiar, but I digress. Yesterday there was a pop-off that took place, and you know, when I recorded how I felt about it on TikTok, I wanted people to understand exactly how I felt. And that was, it's just another day in America. It's just another day. Why did I react that way? I want people to understand it wasn't to seem uncaring and cold, but it is because that these shootings that take place is just being accepted. It's normalized. The only thing that gets thrown around is thoughts and prayers. All the time is nothing but thoughts and prayers. The only time that, Republicans didn't offer anything other than thoughts and prayers is when it came to Charlie Kirk's death. If you're new to my channel, I have never ever supported what happened to Charlie Kirk. I disown anybody who makes jokes about what happened. It's not good. Something that I've heard from my side before of the Democrats is that, if you're calling for gun reform, for one, you cannot celebrate when it happens to somebody that you don't like. And I completely agree with that. However, the very notion that this violence is taking place because of the Democrats. Now, I'm not going to say that there are no Democrat violence. I'm not going to go out of my way and say that. However, most of them have been from Republicans. I was about to say I'm not trying to blame them, but it is, okay? Every single time, a majority of times that when something happens and we investigate, it's found out to have been a Trump supporter, to have been MAGA. The church shooting that happened on Sunday, guy was MAGA. And you think about that. The so-called party of Christianity goes up and shoots at a church. I want people to start addressing things. Understand that you cannot always just start pointing the finger. Now, here's what I'm going to say. And this will sound hypocritical, but 9 times out of 10, when these things happen, where does my mind go? Damn MAGA. Why do I do that? I'll tell you why my mind goes there. Because a lot of times they are the most violent ones. But yet, the only thing that the Republicans want to do is just point the fingers at the Democrats instead of looking at within themselves, because Republicans have no shame. They have no decency to ever look in the mirror and realize that it might be them. It is not my responsibility to tone down any rhetoric. It's not the Democrats' responsibility right now to tone down any rhetoric. Republicans keep pointing fingers at us when it's they themselves who are most common of the causes of these situations. I think this was in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. And if I got it wrong about the state, I apologize. But I made a video about it on TikTok on Sunday, and somebody made a comment. It's like, "Oh, did you know that they have background checks and red flag laws in that state there? So much for that." So, what you're trying to say is that we should just do nothing but offer thoughts and prayers. That is exactly how people come across when you try to just defend. You have to come across as snotty, and you can't just say, "It's a horrible tragedy, I'm so sorry for it. This should not be happening in our country, and I don't understand why we are the only ones, around the world really that have this type of problem." And if you want to say it's mental health, okay. Why do Republicans shut down mental health programs? If it's about mental health, why don't we protect mental health? Why don't we go after mental health to address these issues? And the thing is that what confuses me is when somebody has already lost their life, how do you look for a motive? I mean, maybe there's chat boxes or something like that, I don't know. But really, it's upsetting at the fact of how much gun violence truly is in our country. And the fact that we will never do anything to address the gun violence. I don't believe that we will anytime soon. I don't know if it's going to be this presidency or next presidency. I don't know what it'll be. But we have a severe problem with gun violence. That is just common sense. If you cannot see that, you are choosing to remain blind. Now, I'm never going to really suggest that we take people's, guns away. Okay, I'm not going to suggest that. I don't own a gun. I've held a gun before, but I don't think I would ever have the courage to actually be able to pull the trigger. But I'm never going to say take away your Second Amendment. I'm never going to suggest that. But things have to get done because what we're doing isn't working. And you have to address that as well too. Every person in this country should agree that we need to do something besides just offering thoughts and prayers. I don't mean to attack your Christianity at all, but Jesus Christ is not saving children. Jesus Christ is not saving people who are in prayer. Jesus Christ is not coming down and putting himself in front of the bullets. God is not giving a shield to protect people. People are dying. People are dying while they're in prayer right now. Your thoughts and prayers are not working. And in fact, it's just kind of insulting at this point to just say, my thoughts and prayers. You're numb to it. And that's all you offer. But we need to offer more. We have to start looking at some policies, something. Anything to try something new. Because again, what we're doing is not saving lives. We are costing more lives. We have a gun problem, and we have to fix the gun problem. That is the next campaign promises that people need to start making, is addressing the gun violence in our country. Enough is enough. Enough lives have been taken already. We need to start saving lives instead of ending the lives.